Have you ever noticed that the simplest remedies, the ones our parents and grandparents used without fuss, seem to hold secrets that modern medicine rarely talks about? Think about it for a moment. A tiny spice, something as ordinary as a clove, sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet. What if I told you that soaking it in water overnight could unlock benefits that go far beyond what most of us imagine? You see, as we get older, health often feels complicated. Pills in little boxes. Doctor visits that leave you with more questions than answers. Diet plans that are hard to follow. And sometimes, it feels like every solution is expensive, complicated, or just plain tiring. But every once in a while, nature offers us something gentle. Something simple. Something that doesn't require a prescription but can still bring comfort to your daily life. That's where clove water comes in. Now, you might be thinking, clove water? Really? Can something that small actually make a difference? And I get it. We're used to hearing about big, powerful treatments, not tiny natural helpers. But here's the surprising part. People who've quietly used this old remedy often talk about better digestion, calmer sleep, less discomfort in their joints, and even a sharper memory. And strangely enough, many doctors don't really mention these things. That's why today, we're going to uncover 10 surprising benefits of drinking clove water at night. These aren't the usual surface-level claims you hear floating around. Some of them may surprise you. Some may even challenge what you thought you knew about aging and health. And by the end of this video, you'll see why this humble spice, soaked in a glass of water, is slowly becoming a quiet conversation among those who care deeply about elderly health. But let me bring you in here, because I don't just want you to listen, I want you to join the conversation. Have you ever tried clove water? Or maybe you know someone, perhaps a parent or grandparent, who swore by it? Comment yes if you've tried it, or no if this is brand new to you. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're someone who values practical, natural ways to make aging easier, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide so you never miss out on insights that might just make tomorrow a little healthier, and a little brighter. Let's start with the very first benefit, better digestion. Picture this, you've just finished dinner. Maybe it was something simple, like rice and vegetables, or maybe you treated yourself to a heartier meal. You settle into your chair, expecting peace and comfort before bedtime. But instead of relaxation, you feel bloated, heavy, maybe even restless. That uncomfortable fullness that seems to sit in your stomach like a rock. For many older adults, this isn't rare, it's a nightly struggle. Now, here's where clove water comes in. When cloves are soaked overnight, they release oils and compounds that gently stimulate your digestive enzymes. This means your body can break down food more smoothly, reducing gas, easing indigestion, and helping you avoid that heavy, bloated feeling. It's not about magic, it's about giving your stomach a little helping hand, right when it needs it most. But here's the thing, most people chalk up digestion issues to nothing more than old age. You might hear, well, that's just how it is when you get older. But that isn't always true. Yes, our systems do slow down as we age. But sometimes, all it takes is a small, natural step to make the process easier and gentler on your body. And this is where the simplicity of clove water shines. Instead of tossing and turning at night, instead of relying on antacids that may not always feel good on your system, a warm glass of clove water can settle your stomach so you can finally drift off without that nagging discomfort. And when your stomach feels calm and settled, it leads to something even more important, better, deeper, and more peaceful sleep. We all know how precious a good night's rest is, especially as we grow older. Sleep isn't just about closing your eyes, it's about your body repairing itself, your mind clearing away the day's worries, and your heart getting the rest it needs to keep beating strong. But how many nights have you laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, wishing your mind would quiet down? How many mornings have you woken up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed? This is where clove water plays a surprisingly gentle role. When cloves soak in water, they release natural compounds that have a calming effect on your body. These compounds can help relax tense muscles and ease the little pockets of stress that build up through the day. It's like giving your body permission to finally let go and drift into rest. Now, here's the misunderstanding many people have. They believe that the only way to fix sleep problems is through heavy solutions, like sleeping pills, or the old advice of drinking warm milk before bed. While those may help some people, they don't always work, and they can come with side effects or lose their effect over time. What clove water offers is a gentler, more natural approach, one that doesn't force sleep, but instead prepares your body to welcome it. So, imagine ending your day with a glass of clove water, letting it settle in as you wind down for the night. It may not feel like a miracle cure, but over time, it can help you fall asleep more peacefully, wake up feeling more refreshed, and give your nights back the calmness they deserve. And sleep isn't the only area where this tiny spice lends its strength. Let's talk about something many people don't like to mention: morning breath. You wake up, you stretch, and before you even get out of bed, you feel that dryness in your mouth. You know it's there, and sometimes you worry others might notice too. For many seniors, this isn't just about embarrassment, it's a sign of what's happening inside the mouth overnight. See, when we sleep, our mouths naturally produce less saliva. That dry environment becomes the perfect place for bacteria to grow. And it's those tiny bacteria that cause bad breath, gum irritation, and even make teeth feel sensitive. Brushing your teeth at night helps, of course, but it doesn't stop the fact that bacteria can multiply while you're asleep. Here's where clove water quietly steps in. Cloves are naturally antibacterial. When you drink clove water before bed, those compounds spread through your mouth and down your throat, targeting the germs that would otherwise sit there all night long. Instead of letting bacteria grow unchecked, you're giving your mouth a gentle rinse from the inside. Now, many people believe brushing and rinsing alone are enough. But here's the truth: brushing can only do so much. By the time you wake up, hours have passed, and bacteria have already been at work. That's why so many people still feel that stale, unpleasant taste in their mouths by morning. But clove water can give you an extra layer of protection, one that works quietly while you rest. The result? Fresher breath, less irritation in the gums, and a mouth that feels cleaner when you wake up. It's a simple step that can make your morning start on a much brighter note. And while clove water helps your mouth feel fresher and healthier, its reach goes far beyond that. In fact, it also plays a role in strengthening something even more important: your immune system. Picture this: the weather changes, the cold winds blow in, and almost like clockwork, you catch a cold. What starts as a small sniffle turns into weeks of weakness, coughing, and low energy. For many older adults, this cycle repeats itself every season, sometimes even more often. It's not just inconvenient, it drains your strength, your mood, and your ability to enjoy daily life. Here's where cloves step in once again. They are packed with something called antioxidants, powerful compounds that fight off free radicals in your body. Free radicals are unstable molecules that cause stress and damage to your cells, making it easier for illnesses to take hold. By fighting these free radicals, antioxidants help your body stay strong against the tiny invaders that try to bring you down. But here's a common misunderstanding: many people believe immunity only comes from vitamins in a pill bottle or from vaccines alone. While those can absolutely be important, your everyday diet plays a huge role in how well your body defends itself. What you put in your body either weakens or strengthens those defenses. And clove water, though so simple, adds a protective layer by boosting your natural resilience. So, imagine this: making clove water a small part of your nightly routine. Over time, your body may become less prone to those constant colds, the nagging sore throats, or the endless fatigue that follows infections. It's a small habit, but for many, it can mean fewer sick days and more days spent enjoying life without that heavy cloud of illness hanging overhead. But immunity isn't the only area where clove water lends its strength. Believe it or not, it also quietly supports one of the most delicate balances in the body. Let's talk about something that affects so many elderly people: often in silence, blood sugar. You see, many seniors quietly struggle with fluctuating sugar levels. One day it seems stable, the next it's swinging high or dipping low. And with those shifts come the fatigue, the mood changes, the sudden weakness, and sometimes even the fear of long-term complications. It can feel like a constant battle, one that never really ends. Here's where cloves show yet another hidden gift. Inside these tiny spices are natural compounds that can improve something called insulin sensitivity. In simple terms, that means your body becomes better at using the insulin it already has. And when your body uses insulin more effectively, your blood sugar levels are less likely to swing out of control. Instead of the sharp highs and the draining lows, you may find more stability through the night. But here's a mistake families often make. Many people assume that controlling blood sugar is only about cutting out sweets. Of course, avoiding too much sugar is important, but it's not the full story. True balance comes from supporting the body in many little ways, from what you eat, to how you move, and even to small natural helpers like clove water. It's the combination of these choices that creates steadiness over time. So, imagine sipping a glass of clove water before bed. While you rest, your body quietly benefits, helping you wake up with steadier energy instead of the roller coaster that blood sugar fluctuations often bring. It's a simple, comforting step, but for many, it can be a game changer. And speaking of balance, there's another hidden way clove water helps, by supporting something often called the silent killer. Let's turn to something that has earned a frightening name: high blood pressure. They call it the silent killer for a reason. Most of the time, you don't feel it. There's no pain, no obvious warning, and yet, inside your body, pressure builds on your heart and blood vessels. For many older adults, this silent strain goes unnoticed until it leads to something far more serious. But here's the good news: nature gives us tools to help ease that burden. Cloves contain natural compounds that can help improve circulation, allowing blood to flow more freely. They also help reduce tension in the walls of your blood vessels, which can gently lower that hidden pressure. Think of it like releasing a tight knot. You may not see it, but your body feels the relief. Now, here's the misunderstanding many people have: they think the only way to manage blood pressure is through medication alone. And while medicine is often necessary and life-saving, it's not the only piece of the puzzle. Lifestyle choices, like what you eat, how you move, and even small natural aids like clove water, can make a real difference. These little steps, added together, lighten the load your heart has to carry each day. So, imagine finishing your evening with a glass of clove water, knowing it may be quietly supporting your heart while you sleep. That peace of mind, that simple ritual, can be a comforting way to care for yourself. And here's the connection: when your heart is supported, when your blood flows more easily, it doesn't just protect your life, it also strengthens the very things that keep you moving: your bones and your joints. Picture this: waking up in the morning, ready to start your day, but before you can even take that first step out of bed, your knees feel heavy, your back stiff, and your joints ache as though they're weighed down by time itself. For so many seniors, that stiffness becomes a silent companion, slowing movements, dampening energy, and making even simple tasks, like bending to tie a shoe or climbing a single step, feel like a challenge. This is where the quiet power of clove steps in. Inside these tiny buds lies a compound called eugenol, known for its natural anti-inflammatory effects. When inflammation is soothed, the swelling and stiffness that burden your joints may begin to ease. It doesn't work like a sudden jolt, but rather like a gentle hand, calming the fire within your joints little by little. Now, here's the misconception many fall into: they believe joint pain is simply an unavoidable part of growing older, something to be endured, not improved. But that's not always the case. While aging does affect the body, small choices, like introducing clove water at night, can support your joints, reduce inflammation, and bring more comfort to your mornings. So imagine this: instead of waking up dreading that first painful stretch, you rise with a little more ease, your body more willing to move, your day beginning with less resistance. That's the gift of consistency, small steps leading to real relief over time. And joints aren't the only thing cloves can quietly help with. Deep within the brain, memory and focus are also influenced by the subtle effects of this powerful spice. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've struggled to recall a name that used to come so easily. Forgetfulness can be frustrating, not only for you but also for the loved ones who watch you searching for words or memories that feel just out of reach. For many seniors, this experience becomes a daily challenge, and it can quietly chip away at confidence. But here's where the humble clove shows its hidden strength. Packed with antioxidants, cloves help fight something called oxidative stress. Tiny imbalances in the body that damage cells over time, including those delicate brain cells responsible for memory, focus, and clarity. By reducing that stress, cloves may give your mind a little extra shield, protecting your recall and helping thoughts flow more smoothly. Now, a common belief is that once the brain starts to slow down with age, there's nothing that can be done. But the truth is, diet and lifestyle play a much larger role than most people think. Every sip of clove water is like sending your brain a quiet message of support, reminding it that you're giving it tools to stay sharper, longer. Imagine sitting with your grandchildren and being able to share stories from years ago with ease. Imagine remembering the small details of your life that bring warmth to conversations and smiles to familiar faces. That's the quiet power of small daily habits. They don't just protect your health, they preserve your presence in the moments that matter most. And of course, a sharper brain is even more valuable when your body itself is better protected too. That brings us to another surprising benefit, its role in fighting infections. Think about how something as small as a cut or scratch feels so minor when you're young, but as the years go by, even the tiniest wound can bring more worry. For many older adults, the body heals more slowly, and what starts as a small sore or mild irritation can sometimes turn into a stubborn infection. That lingering fear, wondering if a small problem will grow bigger, is something many families quietly carry in their hearts. This is where cloves bring another layer of protection. They aren't just soothing for the stomach or supportive for the heart, they're also naturally antimicrobial. That means they carry compounds strong enough to help the body fight against harmful bacteria and reduce the risk of small infections spreading. When you drink clove water at night, you're not just hydrating, you're quietly fortifying your body's defenses, lowering the chances that minor issues become major setbacks. Too often, families dismiss infections as nothing serious until they spiral into something that demands urgent attention. But prevention is always easier than cure. And with something as simple and gentle as clove water, you can give your body one more tool to stay resilient. And yet, health isn't only about the body. It's also about how you feel deep inside, especially in those quiet evening hours. Because while cloves protect your body, they also hold a subtle gift for your emotions. Loneliness, worry, and restless thoughts often trouble seniors at night. The mind becomes busy just as the world grows still, and falling asleep can feel impossible when the heart feels heavy. But here again, the humble clove has something to offer. Its compounds provide a mild calming effect, softening stress, steadying mood swings, and creating space for a little more peace. Now, many believe emotional calm only comes from therapy sessions or prescribed medication. But sometimes, nature whispers its own solutions. A warm glass of clove water before bed doesn't just soothe the body, it can ease the mind too, wrapping you in a sense of calm that prepares you for restful sleep. So with every sip, you're not just supporting your physical health, you're also nurturing your inner peace. And that balance between body and mind is where true wellness lives. So, we've seen how one small spice holds powerful potential, but let's pause for a deeper reflection. It can feel almost unbelievable, can't it? To think that something so tiny, so simple, something your grandparents might have used without a second thought, could quietly carry so many hidden benefits. Yet when you sit in the doctor's office, flipping through prescriptions or being told to manage one more diet plan, this little secret rarely makes it into the conversation. And that gap, between what we're told and what nature still offers, can feel overwhelming. But here's the shift I want you to take with you: aging doesn't mean surrendering. It doesn't mean you're powerless against the aches, the foggy memory, the restless nights. In fact, it can be the exact opposite. Because in the middle of all the complexity, sometimes the gentlest, smallest choices can bring the most meaningful sense of control. Imagine this: you don't need to overhaul your entire routine. You don't need to chase complicated diets or fill your cabinet with endless bottles. What if, instead, you simply prepared a small glass of clove water tonight, let it sit quietly, and then sipped it before bed? What if that one act became a nightly ritual of care, of choosing yourself, of giving your body and mind a little extra support? And maybe, just maybe, over time you'll notice your digestion feels calmer. Maybe you'll fall asleep a little easier, wake up with a little more energy, or find that your joints don't protest quite as loudly. These aren't miracles, they're gentle changes that remind you that aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean discovering new ways to feel stronger, calmer, and healthier, even with the simplest of habits. So let's take a moment to bring it all together. To recap, we explored 10 surprising benefits of drinking clove water at night. We talked about how it soothes digestion, eases sleep, freshens breath, strengthens immunity, supports blood sugar and blood pressure, eases joint pain, sharpens memory, protects against infections, and even nurtures emotional calm. 10 powerful ways one humble spice can quietly support your health. But now I want to turn it over to you. Which of these benefits surprised you the most? Was it the way cloves can help memory? Or the idea that they might ease joint pain? Or do you think some of this sounds overhyped, and you're curious to see if it really works? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective, your doubts, your experiences. Because this isn't just about information, it's about community, about learning and sharing together. And if this video opened your eyes, even just a little, to the possibilities that nature still holds, I'd like to invite you to join us here on Elderly Wisdom Guide. We share natural, practical insights every day, tools and stories to make the journey of aging feel a little easier, a little lighter, and a lot more hopeful. So go ahead and hit subscribe, give this video a like if you found it helpful, and stay with us for more gentle guidance on living well. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember, strength isn't about doing everything at once. It's about choosing small steps that add up over time. Stay strong, stay curious, and never forget, sometimes the smallest choices create the biggest changes. I'll see you in the next video.